Hi, this is Dave Hodges of the Common Sense Show, and you're listening to the Red List News, where we are freeing America, one enslaved mind at a time. Well, I just got done interviewing Paul Martin in an interview that will be released sometime on Friday. And Paul and I discussed, in part, a small part of the interview, about all the foreign troops around the country. In fact, people who he's encountered who have firsthand knowledge of populations that are on various military bases like Fort Bliss. And we've been told uniformly and consistently and often that there's a tremendous uptick, a tremendous increase in foreign troop presence on our soil. And in particular, something I've talked about now for the better part of 7 or 8 months is the unconventional warfare exercise number 16. And it's amazing to me. This UX-16 for short is taking place in Texas, but it's not confined to Texas. And it's taking place on 4 military bases, all large bases, all involving foreign troops. And what are they preparing for? They're preparing for civil war. Civil war of a guerrilla variety. In fact, one of the things you can surmise from looking at their BizOp ad advertisements, that what they're talking about bringing in, or what they brought in, was someone to play the part of an American guerrilla war chieftain, and they needed several of them. Well, translated, what that means is, was an officer in the American Army. His unit has deserted, and they are now fighting on behalf of the people using covert guerrilla techniques. That's what they're preparing for. And before you go, oh, come on, Dave, I'll return to this story in a second, but let's just venture up to Colorado. The Russians are at Fort Carson. The Russians are near LaPorte, Colorado, up near the Wyoming border, as are the Gurkhas. And this is where the rubber meets the road. I published pictures of these people. I've done interviews with Paul Martin that we've published on this. The Gurkhas shoot at his shooting range. The Gurkhas, who are they? They are anti-insurgent, anti-guerrilla warfare troops that were initially trained by the Brits to fight in Afghanistan against paramilitary and revolutionary kind of techniques, guerrilla warfare, if you will. And now they're in northern Colorado preparing to do the same thing right on our soil. I could go on and on and on, but we've got the reports, of the UN trucks. It goes on forever. Let me bring it down to the level of Texas now. I've been in contact with a person who's been involved in these UX drills, and I have heard from him now on 3 occasions. On the first occasion, he told a most disturbing story where his fellow officers were brought in and sat down in a room in rare chairs that were in 3 rows and comprising about 15 officers. And they were being demonstrated enhanced interrogation techniques by foreign troops. So they brought in an American family. Of course, they were actors. And they wanted to extract information from the American who was dressed in army fatigues. There's your guerrilla warfare aspect from UX-16. And he refused in this scenario to answer questions. So rather than beat him, what they did was they took his family members one at a time and shot them in the back of the head. Now, not really, but this was the implication, the training. Now, what this officer told me, he said, Dave, I'm very familiar with these techniques, and any of us would be, and we know we're prepared to deal with this should we ever be in a state of war. We've been trained how to handle torture and how to maintain silence and so forth. But he said they weren't there to teach us something we already knew. He said he was sure there were hidden cameras there, and they were videotaping and measuring the responses of the American officers that were there watching. Did they have the stomach for it? Would they capitulate and go along with it? It's really hard to say. And as a result, he said he was absolutely horrified. He's sure that he flunked any test to ever be part of this kind of operation. But he's also talked to other officers and have seen similar things. We're preparing for civil war. This administration, the globalists, are not going to allow a peaceful transition of power between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Will they make their move before the inauguration? That would be my guess. Or will they make their move after the inauguration, maybe in terms of an assassination attempt or actually carrying out an assassination on Donald Trump? I think that's also a good guess at this point. So therefore, folks, you better be ready. You better have your food, your water, your guns, your ammo, and your neighborhood alliances. You better get ready, and you better get ready now. We're headed into some very, very dark days. Well, that's it for the Red List News. Thank you for joining us. I want to remind you that we're offering, I think, one of the most necessary products that you need to have for your survival storehouse, and that is storable food. And to do that, we encourage you to visit our website. Go to numana.com/Hodges. And right now, we have a 5% off sale, all purchases. Simply use the coupon code Hodges, NOV5. That's Hodges, NOV5 at numana.com/Hodges. And when you're on our YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe and to like us. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you back here again real soon.